New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.
One power, invisible, and you see it everywhere and every day. One power, indescribable, and you speak of it with every word you say. Mysterious until you know the truth. As simple as the love inside of you. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, angels' wings or heaven's door. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? It's the power of the love in you and me. One power, one power.
Good morning and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living, Midtown-Alanta. Such is the nature of life that all it asks and all it wants is the opportunity to appear. You are that opportunity, and so am I, and so it is. Whoever you are, whatever path brought you here today, please know that you are welcomed and celebrated. We know who you are. You are an individualized expression of the divine life in which we all live. We are life's opportunity to be someone unique and wonderful. Whatever your ethnic background, religious affiliation, however you know yourself or describe yourself, we are glad you're here today and welcome you. You're welcome to be a part of this community in whatever way serves you. And here's our vision statement. We are a strong, open, globally connected community centered on the clarity of principle through teaching, service, and practice. We create a safe and respectful environment that supports healthy spiritual growth. And for a little more of who we are, our Declaration of Principles as written by our founder, Ernest Holmes.
A few of the Declaration of Principles we live by.
I believe in one God, one absolute power, and first cause to all things.
I believe that this power is perfect love, and it creates out of a desire to express love.
I believe all thought is creative, and how I choose to think creates my personal experience.
I believe in the unity of all life, and the immortality of the individual soul forever unfolding.
I believe in the eternal goodness, the eternal loving kindness, and the eternal givingness of God to all.
And so it is.
So grateful, hey.
So a practitioner is someone who has taken these principles, the spiritual practice and spiritual laws, to bring about great changes in their lives. And they've demonstrated they know how to bring about changes in others when asked. Licensed by the Centers for Spiritual Living, they're available to provide you with spiritual guidance and support in those areas where you need help. You can reach out to them through our website, cslmidtown.org, And today we've got one of our amazing practitioners to share good ideas in an affirmative prayer called spiritual mind treatment. Practitioner Emeritus, Norma Roberts. Thank you.
Morning, Vance. Thank you so very much. You're absolutely wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. And good morning to all of you, family, friends of CSL Midtown. I'd like to tell you that according to the science of mind, the law of mind is always at work, like a mirror reflecting back whatever we are thinking and feeling. It doesn't judge or pick favorites. It just takes in the impressions we give it through our thoughts and emotions and then shows up in the form of our experiences. Like it or not, it's what we're thinking. This means our inner world is constantly shaping our outer world. Whether we realize it or not, sometimes the difficulties we face can be overwhelming. But what do you do when you don't know what to do? This is the time that we are to turn within to the all-knowing spirit within us and let it be our guide. When we become more aware and intentional about what we're thinking and feeling, we start to see real changes in our lives as well as in the world around us. It's about taking responsibility in an empowering way, knowing that we have the ability to participate in what shows up for us. Life isn't just happening to us. We're co-creators with the divine activity shaping every day what our thoughts, our feelings, and our choices are. Just remember, we are co-creating whatever our experiences are. So let's get ready for our treatment for today. And as we prepare for treatment, I invite everyone to right now relax and join me in knowing the truth. Accept as much as you can that resonates with you as I speak in the first person. Let's just know that I know and I know that I know there is but one life, and that life is God. That life is my life right here and right now. I know the Spirit is always creating more of itself, more life, more love, more light, more peace, power, beauty, and joy, and more wholeness. In a ceaseless process of expanding good. I'm one with this presence. It expresses through me and as me. And as I awaken to my divine inheritance in this consciousness raising season, I know and I affirm that my world is infinitely good and creative as I choose and celebrate life, love, light, peace, power, beauty, and joy. For a world that works for everyone, because we live in a field of unlimited possibility. We live in a world of infinite potential. In the midst of overflowing gratitude, love lights my way, and divine intelligence expressing as wisdom in my intuition leads me to people, places, things, and experiences that nourishes my awakening consciousness. With clarity and confidence, I act in faith and allow demonstrations of perfect health in all areas of my physical body. I experience abundant wealth as money flows to me constantly through expected and unexpected channels. Love and creative self-expressions unfold before me in joyous celebration of my oneness with the infinite. Any thoughts of restriction, like or fear that was previously held, is released as I remember to surrender to the infinite goodness of spirit. I right now accept all manifestations that are perfect for me. It is with great peace and gratitude that I release my word to the law of mind and know that it is already done. As together we say, and so it is. And now for some music.
Deep within the active mind, a thought begins to form. The law receives and acts, and now the thought is born. Consciousness is a fertile ground where feelings start to stir. Ingredients for what will build, for what can now occur. Oh, the seeds we plant right here, right now, they grow. Cause and effect, a steady stream, a rhythm in the flow. No distant fate, no ancient debt, just what we choose to sow. In every breath, a future forged, a path we choose to know. The canvas blank, a silent page, awaiting every hue. Each word we speak, each step we take, creates something new. Our imagination, a viral map, guiding where we land. The architect of destiny we co-create, using our own hands. Oh, the seeds we plant right here, right now, they grow. Cause and effect, a steady stream, a rhythm in the flow. No distant fate, no ancient debt, just what we choose to sow. In every breath, a future forged, a path we choose to know. No cosmic scales, no grand design beyond what we create. Bound by principle, we are free, not bound by fate. From one moment to the next, each now moment's a tapestry we weave. With every choice, a consequence, we reveal what we believe. Oh, the seeds we plant right here, right now, they grow. Cause and effect, a steady stream, a rhythm in the flow. No distant fate, no ancient debt, just what we choose to sow. In every breath, a future forged, a path we choose to know. Call are the things that influence what we create. What will you create? What will you now create?
All right, it's my pleasure to introduce our speaker this morning. Reverend Dr. Ray's reputation as a lover of music and comic books is well known. What many do not know is how that love laid the foundation of his passion for exploring the metaphysical aspects of this modern myths and the power behind the stories we create and live. His eclectic background, educator, ASL interpreter, 10 degrees, 8 ordinations, a diverse skill set, martial arts, performing artist, visual artist, American Sign Language, workshop and seminar facilitator, public speaker, goofy sense of humor, and deep introspections and observations have given him a unique approach and ability to simplify complex metaphysical and spiritual ideas, making them understandable and applicable to everyday life, which are among the qualities for which he's especially appreciated. Definitely. As a founding minister of the Center for Spiritually Integrated Arts, he feels inspired and energized to manifest the beloved community and to elevate New Thought and CSL as a household names in a world that genuinely works for and offers powerful healing to all. Welcome, Dr. Ray, this morning.
Namaste. Thank you, Vance. Oh, so happy New Year, CSL Midtown. What's up? So, y'all ready? Cause and effect, huh? So, if I were to ask you, as Dr. Holmes mentions on this first slide, when we learn to trust the universe, we shall be happy, prosperous, and well. Do you trust? Do you trust the universe? Do you? How do you know if you really do? No, and I mean for real. When we think about trust, because trust is synonymous with faith, do I know? You know, like if Vance asked me, Ray, can I borrow some money? Do I trust that he's going to pay me back? Because he said borrow. Do I have faith that his word is his bond? How do I know? How does he know? How are we showing up is the evidence of that faith, of that trust. Breathe. So on this next slide, just for fun, if I were to ask you the question, what came first? The chicken or the egg? What came first, chicken or the egg? Well, let's look at it metaphysically. Metaphysically, this gives us the opportunity to say, normally we think of the mathematics, the science, or the formula of manifestation as cause and effect. What if we swap it and reverse engineer it by identifying very clearly what is it that we desire to experience? And then reverse engineer it and say, in order for me to experience greater abundance financially, greater health and well-being, then what do I need as my mental equivalent? When I am saying a prayer, when I am engaging in meditation, how are these spiritual practices all aligned with engineering and creating the effect? Now, I know this next slide might rub some of y'all the wrong way, but it's okay. So the next slide says, shallow people believe in luck or in circumstances, as in things, it just happened. I don't know why it happened. It just happened. And yet strong people, people of faith, people with trust, people who know, believe in cause and effect. Now, as Norma said, this thing we call the law, this thing we call spirit is always working. The universe doesn't take time off. Yeah, I know in Genesis it said, and on the seventh day, God rested. I know that, but God was still working. The universe was still working. The law still working. So, and what else did Norma say? Oh, that's right. She said, our inner world is constantly shaping our outer world. She didn't say our inner world is shaping our outer world Mondays through Fridays. It takes the weekend off. No. Our inner world, our thoughts, our feelings, our knowing, our consciousness is constantly working with the law, co-creating and shaping our outer experiences. Now, sometimes we think of cause and effect, or we think of life as, we'll ask the question, so what is the reason that this happened? Why did this happen? Well, as this next slide says, everything happens for a reason. However, most often it happens for the reason that there was something that preceded it. In other words, we don't need to focus on, is there some great grand design of fate or destiny? For there is no anthropomorphic God saying, this is what I want you to do. Yet, everything that is happening has something that precedes it, a thought that preceded it. For example, let's look at today's gathering. Prior to me speaking, there was Vance. Now, in order for Vance to be able to introduce, then there had to be a prior. Reverend Ray submitted his bio. Diego logged us all in and sent the link. Someone created StreamYard, and someone and somewhere and something, and then you all somewhere, somehow, something. Everything that is happening right now has a myriad, an incalculable number of things that brought this moment to being exactly what it is. That means every now moment is shaped by, I bring up what Norma said again, that inner. How are my thoughts? How are my words? How are my emotions and feelings? How are all of these things that the law is receiving? How are all of these things shaping and co-creating and manifesting the desired effect of my life? Well, let's think about it. Choices. This next slide says, choices made, whether bad or non-life affirming, or good, life affirming. These choices follow you forever, and they affect everyone in their path, one way or another. Now, we may be thinking, but. So let's think about. There was a president way back when called Truman who, for whatever reason, decided to drop 2 bombs in Japan. And previously to him, there was a scientist called Oppenheimer who found the way to create the bomb in order to bring peace, but it brought war. Now, are we not still impacted by the choices they made so long ago? Are we not affected by the choices that Dr. Holmes made and Emma Curtis Hopkins made and Phineas Parkhurst Quimby made? Are we not affected by? Yes, we are. Which means our choices today are also rippling and affecting, because there aren't multiple gods. There is only one life, and that life is God. And that life is your life now. That life is my life now. So what I do with the one life impacts your experience of the one life, and vice versa, because there is only one mind, one life, one absolute. And so what happens within that great expansiveness of impacts all. This is how we know that our prayers and how we show up impact and change and shape the world. So our invitation is, how are we being more aware and more intentional in the choices that we make? Since they are going to impact us individually and they're going to impact us collectively. Now, in the New Thought Dictionary, Dr. Holmes, as shown on this next slide, gives us a definition of cause and effect. And he says, all causes are invisible. Back to what Norma said, the inner, invisible. All effects are the results of the invisible showing up and taking some temporary form, the effect. From the standpoint of a mental treatment, a spiritual mind treatment, cause and effect means the idea involved in treatment operating through the creative principle, which is constantly working to produce a logical manifestation. Cause must have an effect. Thought must create. Emotions must influence. If there were no effect, there could be no cause. But since there is causation, there must be effect. Else causation would not fulfill its own nature. Cause and effect must be one. Wait a minute. Just like respiration. Respiration is one activity that involves inhalation and exhalation. We don't just inhale. We don't just exhale. We inhale. There's a pause. We exhale. There's a pause. Yet this one activity is called respiration. It's called breathing. Cause and effect is one. Not two things. They are one thing. Breathe. Exactly. So if they're one thing, and how carry the one divided by, and if I move that, okay, so wait a minute. Then as Dr. Holmes said in this next slide, then our thought of anything creates a spiritual prototype of that thing. Our thought of peace on earth, goodwill to all, creates a spiritual prototype of that thing. And within this prototype, there is a law of growth, whichever tends to produce the desired result. This is the law of cause and effect. Our thought of anything creates. Okay, so what are we thinking? What are the thoughts that we are thinking? I can't stand traffic. You're creating a spiritual prototype of that. I can't stand winter and cold and snow. And you're creating a spiritual prototype. And that spiritual prototype, there is a law of growth, whichever tends to produce. And so even if it doesn't literally produce more snow, more traffic, it is producing the effect that it is having on your mind, your body, your emotions, and therefore your other subsequent actions. So even if the thought of more snow doesn't create more snow, it creates more frustration, which then makes me kick the dog and slap the cat and burn the toast and drink the Jell-O and whatever. It will have an effect. It has no choice but to. So how many of you are familiar with Frederick Douglass, the great abolitionist, who said, in essence, I prayed for freedom for 25 years, but I did not receive it till I prayed with my legs. And on this next slide, he says, a person is worked upon by what they work on. They may carve out their circumstances, but then their circumstances will carve them out as well. In other words, first Ray makes a choice, and then that choice that is made impacts Ray. You know, I want an apple. Ray chooses an apple instead of a lemon. Ray eats the apple. The apple, which was chosen, now does something to Ray's taste buds, teeth, lips, gums. Like the tasty. Our choices impact us. Think about your environment. You chose, more than likely, you chose what to go where, how to go, colors of walls and paintings and pictures. Why? Why did you choose those? Why are you wearing what you're wearing? Why did you choose it? Because of how it makes you feel. So we create the environment, then the environment recreates us. All of creation is doing this exact same thing. Breathe. So this next slide, we get some wisdom from the Buddha, who says, I am the owner of my karma. I inherit my karma. I am born of my karma. Pause for a second. Let's brief commercial announcement. Let's swap out this word karma for a moment and insert cause and effect. I am the owner of my cause and effect. I inherit my cause and effect. I am born of my cause and effect. In other words, my mental equivalence. I am related to my mental equivalence, thought, word, emotion, and deed. I live supported by my mental equivalence. And whatever mental equivalent, whatever cause and effect I create, whatever cause and effect I engage in, whether for that which is good or that which is not good, I shall reap the harvest of that as well. To whom much is given, much is required, or as we learn from the metaphysics of Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility. How are we stewarding our thoughts, our words, our emotions and feelings, our relationships, our interactions? How are we stewarding them with responsibility and respect, knowing that there is no anthropomorphic separate God, but that we are individualized expressions of God with the ability to speak blessings in our words? And the Word was God, and the Word was with God, and the Word was made flesh. Every word we speak creates. Every thought creates. Spiritual prototype. The law receives, cause and effect. Now, one of the featured books this month is Braiding Sweetgrass. And from this next slide, we see, and I'm not going to read the whole thing. Feel free to check back later and, glance over it, but I'm going to highlight a couple of things. This lesson, the story, invites us to step into active co-creation with all of life. Science of Mind teaches that our creative power extends beyond personal manifestation. We are called to recognize our shared divinity and our interconnectedness. And this aligns perfectly with our Centers for Spiritual Living global vision. We envision a world in which we live and grow as one global family, a family that respects and honors the interconnectedness of all life. A world where this kinship with all life prospers and connects through the guidance of spiritual wisdom and experience. Together, through mindful choices and spiritual practice, we can help create a world where every being, where all of life, where all of creation is valued and honored, and where the prosperity of one supports the flourishing of all. Breathe. Once again, we are deeply invited into this conscious awareness that we are always at choice point. When we wake up in the morning, what are we choosing? Is gratitude our first thought? Is gratitude our first word? We get to choose that. Or is the first thought and the first word simply from default? Man. And the moment we acknowledge that and recognize, oh, that's frustration, that's annoyance, that's whatever that is, choice point. Do I continue down that road? Or do I take a different path? Well, that depends on what my desired destination is. If I know where I'm going, if I know where I desire to be, then I know how to get there. If I'm going from here where I am to BWI, the airport, well, I know how to get there, but I have to know where there is. And why that airport versus the one in Philadelphia or, Reagan International, so I have to be very clear. Where am I going? Well, I have to be clear that I'm not just going to the airport for the sake of going to the airport. I'm either going to the airport to pick somebody up, or I'm going to the airport to drop somebody off, or I'm going to the airport to be dropped off so I can get on a plane and go somewhere. Well, the somewhere is the desired destination. Oh, so I'm going from here to BWI, from BWI to New Mexico. Okay, so New Mexico is the desire. How do I get from point A to point B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P? I have to know. Do I know the desired destination called a world that works for all? Do I know the desired destination that says Centers for Spiritual Living is a thriving global organization with CSLs in every city, every town, every village throughout, even if it is simply meeting in someone's hut, their cave, their home, their pueblo, wherever they are, God is. And this consciousness is. Do I have that as my desired? Do I have my own health and well-being as my desired? If I don't know where I desire to be, then I can't know who I desire to be. I can't know who I desire. Who am I? What am I? How am I expressing? I can't know. Even if it's, I desire, my destination is to experience more of that which is the divine. Well, I have to know that in order to reverse engineer it, in order to put into practice, in order to put into my life. This is one reason why Dr. Holmes said in the Sermon by the Sea, show me 1,000 people who know what science of mind is, religious science. Show me 1,000 people who know what it is, who practice it, and who live it as a way of life. And he used different words after that. He said, and I will see new heaven, new earth. But what in essence, I will see a world that works for all. When we know what it is, we practice it and we live it. Cause and effect, inner and outer. Thought becomes form. And as we see in this next slide, one of the things that I do my best to, being open at the top is, what is Science of Mind and Spirit 4.0 for me? And so this invitation, as we reconnect with this core tenet of Science of Mind and Spirit 4.0, we are invited and encouraged to remember that all cause and all effect proceed from the indivisible and invisible spirit. You are one with and as this spirit, and you cannot be separated from it, indivisible. Your word has power because your word is the word of God. Your action is the action or the activity of God through your mental equivalence. If a different effect, condition, or experience is desired, a different cause, a different thought, a different word, different emotions, different actions must be initiated and maintained. Breathe. So in this moment, the invitation is, as this new year begins and unfolds, is to get greater clarity. Who do I desire to be? What do I desire to be? And how do I choose to demonstrate it? individually, in group, as a CSL. Who do we choose to be? What do we choose to be? And how do we, this beloved community, choose to demonstrate it? As a global organization, who, what, and how? Identify the destination, trace the route, begin the journey. And so it is.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Ray. Awesome talk this morning. So we'll see you over on Zoom in a couple minutes and have a discussion about that.
Yes.
It'll be lively. See what that's like. So now it's time for our new minister sacred covenant easy prayer, which you can download from CSLMidtown.org. I'll read this. You can read this with me. There's only one life. This life is good. This life is God. This life is my life now. In knowing that I am one with this life that is God, I therefore know that I am one with its blessed expressions, which includes the presence of a new minister for my beloved spiritual community. Because I know that the highest purpose of my new minister is to express spirit, I therefore know that my new minister is a revelation of spirit as principle. I further know that my new minister is the fulfillment of that which has been promised by God. For it is written, principle is not bound by precedent. It operates according to the law, and it's always available to those who are willing to align themselves with it. As I stand in agreement with my beloved community, I see my new minister before me as inspiring spiritual oneness through wisdom, love, and authenticity. I now intend to experience my new minister in full cooperation and agreement with my community, knowing this truth about myself. For I am inspired to live as love in the expression of principle. I am awakening the wisdom within me by clearly communicating the principles of universal truth. I am a conduit of divine love, wisdom, and healing energy, recognizing the inherent wholeness within all beings. I am offering teachings, classes, and mystical studies grounded in spiritual principles to cultivate inner wisdom, personal transformation, and empowered living. I am extending the love, compassion, and transformative power of spirit into the wider community, fostering connections that heal, uplift, and support individuals in their unique journeys. As I now accept the highest expression of a new minister into my life, I know that they will be revealed in a way that will express spirit and serve as the highest and greatest good of all who are touched by their presence. I am grateful God is gracious, and so it is. So now it's time for our conscious giving. You can donate at our website, cslmidtown.org/donate, or you can click on the QR or scan the QR code. It's on the screen. That will take you right there. You can do a one-time donation or an ongoing pledge donation. We gratefully accept all of those, and your donations help this organization continue to bring these amazing speakers to each every week. Say with me now our affirmation of prosperity. I live in a universe of abundance. As I freely and joyfully give, I join in the divine flow, and all that I share with life returns to me multiplied abundantly, and so it is. So I've got a few announcements. I want to thank Reverend Norma for being our practitioner today, Reverend Ray for speaking. January's theme is Ancestral Wisdom and New Thought. And next week, I Am Your Identity. There's supposed to be a space there. By Reverend Dr. Harry Morgan Moses. So welcome back, Dr. Harry. And there's an adult study group on the Science of My Textbook, 10 a.m. on Sunday. You can go to our website, CSLMidtown.org. Scroll down to the Zoom link, click on that. It will take you into the Zoom room for that at 10 a.m. You download the New Minister Sacred Covenant and join us in our expanded consciousness for that. Thanks everybody for being here, and let's do our affirmation of life. I leave this place now knowing something better than I knew before. I go forth into the world with a heart full of love and a mind full of good sense. I look at the world in a greater way, knowing that I have within me everything I need to create the life I desire. I give thanks for this understanding, and I am grateful for the spirit of life that lives through me. So it is. So if you're not already on Zoom, join us over there for a discussion with Dr. Ray, and we'll see you next week.
I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for all that I have. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for all that I have. Hey! Oh yeah. Grateful. I just say I am so grateful every day for all I have. Every day. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for all I have. Every day I say it. Grateful. How I'm grateful. Every day. Oh yeah. I am so grateful. Oh yeah. I'm so grateful. 'Cause I accept and I receive. I am so grateful. Oh yes, I am. I am. I am. So grateful, hey, grateful. I just count my blessings. Grateful. I just count my blessings.
There is a power for good in the universe greater than you are, and you can use it.